everyone, it's Nicole from Nicole Jones 911 Colors, and I thought today I would share with you a lot of the supplies, hopefully all the supplies that I use for coloring. And we're going to start with pencils. And the first one is the Faber-Castell Albert Durer's watercolor pencils. I have the 120 set, but do you guys do that? I keep the tins, but I don't keep the pencils in there. I actually started purchasing these pouches or pencil cases for all my pencils, and these ones are my favorite because one, every section has its own zipper. So I love that. I don't like the ones where you open it and they all flop all over the place. I don't like those ones. And the second thing that I love about these is that every single pencil is a different loop. So it's really easy to put your stuff back where it belongs because you just follow the numbers. So this one here is my Albert Durer's, and the reason it's backwards here is I started doing some sampling with those, and this is as far as I got. So how I remember where I am, I just put one of the pencils backwards and then I know where I am. Because actually I'm making little cards for when I'm doing my own tutorials. I'll be able, instead of editing on the screen, I'll just put a little card of the colors that I'm using. And also, I want to say what I love about these pencils, I've only used them a couple times, but they're quickly becoming already my favorite, is that you can use them wet or dry. So you can use them, as a watercolor pencil, wait till it dries, and then you can use them for layering and putting shadows and highlights. How awesome is that? And what I love is that in my local craft stores, I can get these open stock. So I don't have to worry, let's say if I use this purple all the way down, I can just go buy that pencil and not have to buy the whole thing, because these things are not cheap. I just did some soft pastels and I did wash it, and they're still soft pastel. It just gets everywhere. Now, the second thing that I want to share is my Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2. And I have, what set is that? The 100? Or no, 84. The 84 set. And it has, I love that it's a metal tray. And you can just take it out. And these, I will not use a pencil case for those. I'm going to keep them in there. I like how they are in here. So I'm just going to leave them in there. And I love using those Neocolor 2s. They're great for backgrounds. And even just that first coat, so then you don't have to do as much coloring with your pencils. You can use your Neocolor 2s. The next thing is the Inktense. I had the 72 set. I want to get the 28 that's missing, and that's by Derwent. And what's great about these is that they're a watercolor pencil, but what's inside is ink. So when you wet them, you can move them around. But as soon as they dry, they're permanent. So then you can do wet medium over top if you wanted to, because these are not going to move. The next set of pencils, which I also keep in one of those pencil cases. I just don't know where it is right now. There's going to be a lot of stopping and going with this video because, of course, I couldn't stack it all up here because there's too much. Is the Prismacolor pencils. Now, when I bought my first set, this is my first set, and I have a lot of them out right now because I'm working on a project. When I bought my first set, my set was 120, I think. 100 or 120. And then that was in 2015. Now they have the 150. I had so many pencils, and like I said, there's a lot of them out that were super, super small, like the black. I probably have 30 or 40 that are about that size. So for me to, here, I can show you here. What I like to do is I have these little cases, and this is where I put all the pencils that I'm using at the current time, instead of putting them away every night, right? That would take forever. So what I do is I just put everything in here so I can just clean up quickly at the end of the day when I'm done, put everything in there. The next day when I'm ready to color, everything is there. But look how many pencils are so small. So when I started counting how many I had to replace, and on Amazon, this set here went on sale for $104 for the 150. That's unheard of, right? It was around Black Friday, I believe. So I was just like, yep, I'm getting a whole new set instead of paying, 30, I think they're $3 a pencil. So $90. So for $14 more, I got a brand new set, and I just keep it in this thing. And I probably won't keep, doing that. But now I have this nice container, because when I bought mine, it was a tin. It was like this square, maybe 10 by 10. So I like this box much better. So now I have a spot where to keep my extras. I mean, it's a full set right now, but eventually it'll be the extras. The next set of pencil is Derwent Chroma Flow, and I have the 150 set. I still have it in my container. I do have a pencil case for it. It just came in a couple days ago, and I just haven't had a chance to move them over. But the same kind of thing, a zipper for each section, and every pencil is separate. But this has 3 layers, and I just think they're so awesome. As you can tell, I'm using, probably swatching them because one is backwards. And I'm going to put them in my container, my pencil case, in the order of the swatch. So I'm going to swatch them all out first. I've never used them yet, so I can't wait to use them. And my goal this year is to use, my supplies. Now, the next set of pencils are my Faber-Castell's Polychromos. I absolutely love those. There's a few pencils missing because I am actually working on a project with them right now. But again, these, I have the pencil case. I just need to move them out. So I can't wait to use them. They are, the project that I'm using them on right now, I'm really enjoying them. And my goal this year is just not to just use my Prismacolors. I want to use my other pencils also. You'll probably hear my chair rolling around because I'm running out of room to put all this stuff. So this here, I bought in 2015, 2016, because I didn't want to spend the money on the Polychromos. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get these, and that'll be fine. And then this year I was like, you know what? I want the Polychromos too. So these here are Polycolor, and they're from Koh-i-Noor. And I tell you the truth, I've never used them, but I'm going to try to use them. And if I don't use them, when my son comes home in August, September, he's an artist. He loves anything that's art supply. I'll just pass it along to him, and he's going to be super happy to get, these brand new colored pencils, and I'm sure he's going to enjoy them. But for now, I'm going to try and use them. The next set of pencil I have are the Brute Funer, the 180. These are an oil-based pencil, and again, I move them over to one of my pencil cases. Now, I've used them last week, and I like them. I thought they worked great. Actually, I worked in the Matchstick Mouse coloring book, and I didn't find that the Prismacolors were working well on them. I had done an alcohol marker base first, but I found that these worked better on top, you know, that cheap Amazon paper. Those worked really well. So that gave me some hope that I'll probably, you know, use them a little bit more. I decided to stand up, so maybe it'll make it easier for me to film this. The next set of pencil is the Artex, the 126 color. And I don't know why. I keep all the boxes. I just put them away, and, you know, someday I want to put them back, then I can. So here is all the pencils. Again, I have them. I was thinking of getting different ones, you know, like different pencil cases, but I really like how these are. So I'll just put little tags on them, which ones are the Artex, which ones are, you know, the Brute Funas and all that, so that I can easily pick them out. Now, I haven't used these yet, but I have plans to do a page in February where I'm going to be using those. And there's one more later, but it's just Artex, the 126 sets. Things are now pastels. I got soft pastels, the Ohuhu soft pastels, and I was swatching them out earlier today, and I noticed that I didn't get a number 17. I got 2 number 18s. If you look here, I got 2 number 18s, so I'm kind of sad. And of course, today, the page I was doing, I needed like a pink. And I'm like, that's probably the pink that I needed. But I have this, the soft pastels, and then I have the oil pastels from Rubens. I have the flower colors, and I think I haven't swatched these out yet, but those are the colors. Aren't they gorgeous? Haven't used them yet, so that's my goal this year, is to use them. I got extra white sheets from the Ohuhu soft pastels that I use to do my swatches. I'll take one of those and make a swatch for the oil pastels too, like I did for this. It works really well. I did 6 rows and then 12 at 1/2 inch each, and then I'm able to put the number, and up here I just put like row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that I can just keep it with the pastel. Move on to markers. I have the Artex acrylic marker set, the 60 colors. Just open that up so you can see. Look how beautiful all these colors are. And it is a brush tip, and I love them. Haven't used them yet, so that is going to be, you know, it's a goal this year, is to make sure that I use all the supplies that I have on some layouts. Then I got the Ohuhu watercolor markers. How many is in there? The brush markers. I think it's 72. No, 120. Wow. And it has a brush tip on one side and a fine tip on the other. Now I have to do the sampling for this too. I haven't done that yet. Now some other markers that I have is I got 2 sets of Tule Art. I have the pastels. I believe this is the pastels. Ooh, there's 500 colors. What? And I love that it says on the side here what it is. So I have the pastel set, and I love these little containers, the ones that I was telling you I keep, you know, my pencils in it when I'm working. And then I have the essential. I want to get a couple more sets at least, but for now that is good. And they also sell just black and white, and I think I'd like that because I do use the white more than anything else. So those are the Tule Art. I got the pastel and the essentials. I do have some Tombow markers. I don't have the whole collection. I just have, I don't know, maybe 40 of them or something. And of course, it's a brush tip on one side and a fine tip, or just, you know, a smaller tip on the other. And those are the colors I have up to now. And I'm just getting 3 or 4 of them at a time. Whenever I go work on a project and I need a certain color, that's when I get the new color that I need. And I'm happy with that. And eventually I'll have most of them. We're going to talk about watercolors. I have this set here. I've had this forever. I was using this for my scrapbooking, but I've brought it in my color area now. So I can use these watercolors, and then I have all those little ones here. And again, keeping them in those little plastic containers. But I have like little sets. There's not a lot of paint in that, but you know, enough to use them. So I have quite a few little sets, and so I'll have those to work with in my coloring books. Next, I'm going to show you my distress inks, and I have them all labeled, so when I look up on my shelf, I know like this is the purple case, this is the red and pink, and it's all the little squares. Now in my scrap room, I have all the bigger ink pads, but for coloring, this is perfect to have the little ones. I just stole it from my room upstairs and thought, you know what, I don't need 2 sets upstairs, so I can now have this down here, and I have the refills for most of them. I might have like 5 refills or 10 refills missing. So I can just refill those little ones, and they just sit here on my shelf. And when I need some distress inks, I just grab one of these tools, and what I do is I keep the foam on the back, and I put the messy side in. That one's not messy, it's brand new. But I keep the messy side, okay. I know there's messy ones, there we go. I keep the messy side in so it doesn't get all over the place. Plus, when you're ready to use it, it's already facing the right way that you just pick it up. So I love that. That was a tip from Tim Holtz himself, the creator of these inks. So, and that little tool is a must-have with those. Next, we're going to talk about gel pens. I have the 74 set Jelly Roll. And in the set, it has the classic, the metallic Moonlit 10, Moonlit 6, Moonlit 10, Stardust, and Gold Shadow, Silver Shadow. I don't really like those, but the rest, I kind of like them. And I just keep them like that. And I literally put the pens where those are, so I know exactly where they are. And they came in this awesome little container. So I just, no, they didn't. Yes, they did. They did come in that container because this was this way. Yes. Okay. I just bought an exact container for the next gel pens, which I have not put them in the container yet because I think I have too many for the container. So here's the container, and here are the gel pens. So I'm trying to figure out how to keep those in that container. I don't think it's going to be doable, but I have the purple style purple style. It's the Languo gel pens. I have lipstick red, blue style, dusty blue, advanced gray, light color. What's this? Dark skin, colorful black, Morandi, sweet pink, sage green, warm yellow, another Morandi. Do I really have two of those? Where? Oh no, it's a different one. Morandi, but a different one. And Chinese red. So that's quite a lot of gel pens. But it's okay. They weren't expensive, so I have a ton of these now. So now it's going to be more like tools and that kind of stuff. So the first thing is I caved and I bought the Caran d'Ache palette. It is rough on one side, smooth on the other. I had one that I had kind of scratched, but I use it in my scrapbook room. So now I have one for my coloring desk, which is awesome. I have these makeup brushes that I use for the distress inks or even the pastels. There's all different colors. So I have those in here. And again, those little containers, they're 6 by 9, by the way, by 1 inch. They're amazing. These are tools that I can use. I think it was for the the oil pastels. And then I have little makeup brushes. These are really cheap. I paid a couple dollars for 50 of them, and they're perfect for the soft pastels. Now, I have this drawing gum, and I have these rubber tools to, put it on your coloring page, and then you can use distress inks or whatever, and then you can just peel this off and it resists whatever you're coloring with. So I have this and that I keep right there. Then I have an electric eraser by Derwent. I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. I also have a small eraser, but I can't seem, I don't know where it is. Those little fine ones. It must be somewhere. I also have some workable fixative. So let's say this morning I started a page and I did some soft pastels. I sprayed it and then I can still work with it. You don't have to wait till you're all done. And this is by Krylon. And when my page is done, I also spray it with this, and then it just makes it so it doesn't go all over the place. Again, I have one of these tools for the distress inks. I have more than one. I have a kneadable eraser. I have quite a few of them. That is perfect for picking up just pencils and all that to clean up your page. And then you just work it in, and then it just gets usable again. I have Gamsol that helps with blending the pencil crayons. I also have some satin glazing liquid, and this is good for those cheap Amazon coloring books. You can put this on. You do need to sand it after. It's not my favorite to use, but in a pinch, I will use it. I have a nice big brush so that I can just sweep my page, and then I don't streak with the pencils. So I keep that right there. I have one of these, and I just think it's awesome. When I do some, use my watercolor pencils or whatever, the excess water, I just put it on here. And I just need to wash this sponge, but I love that it's in a little container, and I always know where it is. I have a craft knife, And this I use for the soft pastels to scrape some off, and then I can use them. I have some watercolor brushes. I have I just took 2 out, but I have so many of them. And I just try one. If I don't like how it works at that time, I just try another one. I have Wink of Stella, which is just clear, just to add a little bit of glitter onto your page. I have the Arteza white markers to do details on your pages. I have the Uniball Signal white and in gold, just to add details to your pages. I knew it couldn't be too far. So it's the Tombow Mono. Look how little that eraser is. So you can just get in to those tiny, tiny areas. And I bought a bunch of refills for it too. So I'm all set to go. And then I just have like your regular Staedtler eraser too around here somewhere. And here's one of them. I have more than one, but I have that. One thing that I absolutely love is my Doll 133, I think. Pencil sharpener. Ooh. I just love this thing and I use it all the time. You do have to pull it out, put your pencil in, and then it pulls it in for you like this. So you don't have to hold it, and I absolutely love that. And you can decide the sharpness of, you know, how sharp you want your pencil. And this is a Polychromos, and it did an awesome job of sharp tools that I use for soft pastels. And I have a bunch of refills. Those are great. And I also have some cotton rounds that I use for soft pastels, and these soft art sponges, and these you can use with your pan pastels or your oil pastels also. And I just go and I wash all of these up, and then I just use them again. Couple more things. I have a bunch of stencils, like some of them are bricks, some rocks, some ocean stuff like waves and clouds. So just a bunch of different stencils. I gotta start using them in my coloring book. Like these are little butterflies, stars, grass, just a bunch of different ones, like just to make a fun background. I have a bunch of these in my scrap room too, but I didn't want to have to keep going up and down. So I just got some that I can keep with my coloring stuff. And the last thing I'm going to share, or the couple last things I'm going to share is, I'm not going to share or show all 4 of them. I showed them before on the channel, but I got the 4 color cubes by Sarah Renee Clark. So I got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you'll see them in a second here because I'm going to show you my bookcase and where they sit. And I just really like those, and I can see using them all the time. I absolutely love them. So like I said, I have all 4 of them. The last thing I'm going to share is my alcohol marker collection. I have the Ohuhu. I think I have about 200 and some. I don't have all of them. And I have about the same amount of Copics. And with those, I think I'll be fine. I have a few of the refills of Copics, and so that helps. And then I'll show you my color cubes. There's 2 there and 2 down here. So that's where I keep, you know, like the pencil cases. I have 3 down here and 3 up there. And I have like Joanna Basford stuff here, and Kirby Roseanne's Eerie and Mythographics here. These are just books that I'm looking at maybe using soon. I have Diane Dufour and Lulu Mayo stuff and Sarah Shepchick. And then up here I have my Hannah Carlzon, my Maria Trolli books. And then I have my Rita Bermans up there. There's a couple missing because I'm working with them. But so that is, all my supplies, I guess, that I use for coloring. And next week, I'm going to be working on cleaning out my desk and making it beautiful to see. I'm going to share with you my desk where I do my coloring. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.